Hi, welcome back and welcome to another reading. This will be the general reading for whenever you come across this, for those of you who have a Pisces sun, moon, or rising. And if you don't have one of those placements and it's the title or the thumbnail that led you to click onto this video, then I encourage you to stick around. Like we always say, there may be something here for you. And we're not going to put a time on it. We're doing it mid-October 2024. So if it resonates for now, then, that's great. But I'm not approaching this for any particular timeline. We're just going to shuffle a bit, pull some cards, and talk about whatever comes out. And I hope that it's helpful. Very smart. Two of Pentacles with the Devil card at the bottom. There's so much you do to make it work. Your contribution is necessary. It's unique. It is essential. And it isn't going unnoticed. And I think that this is something that you might be a bit insecure about at times. And it isn't so much about you really wanting to be seen by a whole lot of people for what you do or what you contribute. It's more so about needing or wanting to be seen by one or two people in particular. It's a very small handful of people. I don't think that you attach your sense of self-worth to what other people think of you, but you're smart enough to know that the opinions of some people are worth more than the opinions of others. So you try to do what you can and do what you think needs to be done so that you can be noticed, so that you can be seen for the intelligent and diligent and hardworking person that you are. And it feels at times like you're running yourself ragged in the process. Why? Because, when you work that way, when are you going to see the payoff? When are they going to recognize your efforts? When will you be rewarded? You already have enough on your plate with trying to maintain a household and maintain a happy home life. So to have to be something to another set of people or to someone else can just feel like a lot sometimes. And it's very easy for you to just fly off at the mouth right now because they deserve it. You want to let them have it. It can be quite draining when you're giving advice and you're presenting solutions and you're making recommendations and you're contributing, like we said, but your intentions get lost in translation. They don't see your effort for what it truly is, and they don't attach your intentions, your true and good intentions, to the situation, and it's like they don't make a correlation between that, between your good intentions and what you're telling them. So it falls on deaf ears, and it can seem like an exercise in futility. My people suffer for a lack of knowledge. They suffer for a lack of wisdom, a lack of know-how, and here you are. Coming with that, offering that, but it's like they don't value it. Now, that isn't always the case. I think that there are people who are receptive to what you have to say. There are people who do see you and do recognize you. There's no shortage of recognition and notoriety for you. Like I said, you don't need this kind of external validation from a wide range of people. It's like you're getting it, but you're not getting it from the right people, or you're not getting it in ways that are satisfying. It just doesn't seem like it's enough. You know how Alexander the Great would conquer nation after nation to expand his empire, expand his territory, but he just kept going and going and going. It was glorious conquering all of those lands, but after a while, are you just conquering for conquering's sake? What is it that we are? What's the game plan here? What's the end goal? What's the end game? There comes a point when it is no longer practical. There comes a point where you're not accepting defeat, you're not giving up, you're just saying when. Come on, one more. Yes. One sec. All right, Pisces. Papa's got a brand new bag. let's talk about what's here. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in the way that there's a lot you want to do. There's this kind of angst in the air, or that you may be experiencing, just because there are a lot of things on your plate, and there's a lot riding on it. It feels like it's high stakes. You want everything to go well, you want everything to work out, and there's a lot of concern about that. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to be successful. There's nothing wrong with wanting notoriety and wanting to be recognized for the hard work that you do. And I feel like a lot of you want to be paid what you deserve. So you're looking at what's in front of you, you're looking at what's coming in, and trying to decide, is it enough what I have, and how do I get to the top of that next mountain? How do I get paid what I'm due, get paid what I'm owed? And it's frustrating when others, it's like they get the attention or they get the love. So I'm not calling you a hater, but it's just, we want everybody to eat. We want everybody to be rewarded for the work they do. Would you be happy if someone else won, if you got to see them win? Absolutely. But not at the expense of yourself. You're very capable. You're just as capable, you're just as willing, you're just as insightful, you're just as willing to help. And you want to do your part. It's difficult. It can be hard at times to not look to your left and look to your right and look at what other people are doing and, measure your success against that. But I'll tell you right now, that is a trap. I think you can and should absolutely want better for yourself and want to be better and be the best version of yourself and want to be paid and rewarded accordingly for what you're offering. But I don't think that you should ever get caught up in competing with other people. I don't think you should ever get caught up in looking at what they have or how far they've come and what they've done. Who gives a fuck what those bitches have done? What do you have going on? What can you do in your own life to position yourself well, to make it so you're seen and you're recognized and you're valued? I think that, you rob yourself of energy when you are trying to help someone but they're not really receptive, or they don't really want your input. So you have to know when to turn off the tap. You have to know when to say, okay, I gave it my best shot. I made my sentiment known, and I've tried my best to help you. But you can only help people who want to be helped. You can only I just don't want you to see you put yourself in a position where you continue to give in areas where you're not appreciated. So really pay close attention to that. Know when you're doing too much. What you're doing isn't necessarily bad. What you're offering in most cases is actually quite great and quite helpful, but it's not your fault if someone is incapable of seeing that. So I don't want you to get to the point where you then question your value and begin to, not be yourself, and you get to the point where you start to question your worth. So no, let's not do any of that. You should get really familiar with your worth and with your value, and know that that's something that should be defined by you. It's not, it doesn't need to be validated by anyone else. And go where you're wanted. I think it's okay to, and also quite realistic to understand that, sometimes I hate the way this sounds, but to get to the next level, to take the next step, there are, the people who are in the position to grant that kind of power, the people who are in the position to knight you, to dub thee, are the ones who, you should really be concerned about seeing you. So don't be ashamed to make a case for yourself if you feel like if they're missing something about you, if they don't quite know you or know who you are. Absolutely take the time out to let them know who you are and let them know what you've done. But all the people that are in the peanut gallery who have less than kind things to say, or who are just not contributing in the same way that you are, or just don't really concern yourself with trying to impress them. Don't really get caught up in trying to fulfill any kind of role with these people. By all means, if you want to help, still show up and do your best. But like we said, know where the boundary is and know where to cut things off. And know when you're not going to be able to change someone's mind or alter their principles or their perception of the situation. Like we were saying, people suffer for a lack of knowledge, and I feel like oftentimes with you, people you encounter suffer because of a lack of imagination. They don't quite have the ability to see things at the angle that you may see it at. They lack the imagination, they lack the perspective, and they lack the willingness to be taught, they lack the willingness to be shown. And I feel like at this time, at this stage in your life, you can only go so far. If they want to believe that 2 + 2 = 5, let them. Let's not try to convince anybody unnecessarily around this time. Let's not try to persuade anybody. Gravitate towards those who are going to recognize your intellect and contribution for what it is, and will speak with you candidly about that. I think that anything that you have to force right now is not for you. I hope this made sense and that you found this helpful, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.